actually ask people for a type of respect, even though I know that there are some people that don't have great relationships with their mothers. So in that case, I can be called Dr. Shakir. I am originally born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. I lived there for the first 30 years of my life during a time when it was the fifth largest city in the United States. I then moved from Detroit and lived in Berkeley and Oakland, California for 20 years. I did a lot of things there. I fought to free political prisoners. I had a boutique. I worked as an occupational therapist and had a hub for cultural events. After I had had my full of the Bay Area, I decided that I wanted to move to the Southeast. Alabama was number 5 on my list of places that I would want to move to, but it turned out that I was offered a teaching position at Tuskegee University. So I accepted the position and I moved there in 2001. So I currently have retired from Tuskegee, but I now have an organization called Nature's Garden for Victory and Peace, which is a nonprofit organization that is developing an intentional community. Prior moving to Tuskegee, I did a 5-year visioning where I asked myself, where do I want to be and what do I want to be doing in 5 years? And part of what I included was that I wanted to move to the Southeast. I wanted to buy some land and I wanted to build an institution. So when the opportunity presented itself, I moved thinking that I'll get into the Southeast and maybe from Tuskegee I'll decide where I want to be. But I ended up staying. So I've been there for 23 years now. Nature's Garden is approximately 8 or 9 years old. We incorporated into the Alabama in 2015, but we didn't get our 501c3 status until 2018. And since that time, we've been developing our agricultural activities. We have several plots of land on the property where we grow traditional vegetables, herbs. We have some pecan trees. We have a few apple trees, things of that nature. But that continues to be an ongoing challenge to find the resources, the labor, the whole 9 yards of what it really requires to completely establish that. But we have identified that as our primary activity. But because we want to develop an intentional community that would include residential living on these 55 acres of land, we also have a community land trust that we've developed. We're also really big on the arts, and we define art as any human activity or occupation that's performed with mindfulness, with beauty, social, and environmental responsibility as an art. And we tie that into our relationship with cosmology, paying attention to, as above, so below, and we get pretty deep with that. Really, really wanting to connect with a body of knowledge that is ancient, that is also sacred. And we pay attention to, the creatures and the trees and the insects and all of those kinds of things. And we ask ourselves that in what ways are we in harmony and in unity? I mean, that the way the bees and the ants function, and that we as human beings are supposed to be the crown of the creation, and how out of alignment we really are. So studying the cosmology, we think, is pretty important. I was introduced to the National Black Food and Justice Alliance, I want to say around 2018. I attended I was invited to one of the meetings. I don't know if it was a membership meeting, but I was invited by Dara Cooper, and I've been active ever since then. I currently serve on the Muhjah Transformation Council, which is a good spot for me because I really believe in unity, first and foremost. I understand after so many years of having been a part of so many different organizations and movements as well. I was a part of the Nation of Islam for about 10 years. When I was 19 years old, I joined the Nation of Islam. I learned a bunch of stuff welfare, discipline, the knowledge of self. I've also been active with the Republic of New Africa, where I did 10 years of work to free Geronimo Pratt. I was one of the founding members of the Jericho Amnesty Campaign to free political prisoners. So deep experiences about the role of the state itself. And Geronimo used to always say that, we can't leave any stone unturned in terms of, our efforts to get him out of prison. So those are just some of the things that I've done. Being a part of the Muhjah Transformation Council is important because I realize that as a people, we have to learn how to work together in unity, and that's one of our biggest challenges. I've also been active with the Mutual Aid Resource Council, done that for a few years. And I think there's another committee that I'm involved in, Black Land and Power. I've been a part of the land stewardship. And so I love the organization very much. I've been a part of a lot of different groups, and within this one, I find some very beautiful people and some very unique combinations of political, radical mindset and movement activities, but also a lot of really dedicated people. I think that almost everyone that I've met in the organization are people who are really working for their own personal cultivation, development, and I think that's what it's going to take. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much.